My name's Andy and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet 14th of April 2007. Hope everyone's well. Everyone's been keeping fine these last couple of weeks since my last live vlog. Bit about myself. I've done quite well the last couple of weeks. I've been on days working. I've started a kind of a new role where I'm at the minute with the logistic company I'm with. So still learning the ropes, but I'm doing quite well. Back on the dreaded night shifts next couple of weeks, so see how I fare with that. I'm in very good nick, mentally, physically not so much because I've not really done anything for the last couple of weeks, but I've just recently signed up for the Derby Half Marathon and I'm going to start my training from tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to doing that and cracking on with raising some money for charity for the Padley Group in Derby, which is like helps the homeless, etc. We'll be in fancy dress as always, and I'm looking to get back first as I always try to do in the Ramathon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can make it 4 in a row. But yeah, I've been busy with work really. Not had a lot on with like anything like gambling wise. I am with YGAM in April in Northern Ireland for 5 days, so I'll be doing some education work over there, which is quite nice to do. Also doing like a lecture next week at Nottingham Trent University, bit of a Q&A about my story, etc. So been invited along to do that by somebody, so buzzing for that really as well. I'll also hopefully going to be up in Leeds in May for the opening of the new NHS gambling clinic up there, gambling addiction clinic up there, so it'd be nice to venture out and see what the plans are there for that as well. Underlying theme today is regarding around relationships, not just with like your family, your wife, your husband, your brother and sister, etc. Also work colleagues as well. I noticed it was quite strange really starting in my new role the other couple of Mondays ago, because they didn't really know about my gambling and stuff, and asked me about the lottery and things and all that lot, and obviously I just kind of like gave them a brief outline of what I do and what my story is, and they felt a bit standoffish, wondering if I'm going to get upset about them talking about gambling. For me, I am a long way in my recovery and I'm quite comfy around people talking about gambling in front of me and stuff and all that lot, but I can imagine it is quite hard for people who are pretty new off and stuff and all that lot. Hi Lewis, nice to see you on here. But I can imagine it is quite hard because I remember I struggled a bit, especially at the start, for 6 to 12 months. I had to take myself out of situations where people were talking about gambling, I had to walk away and maybe try and talk about something else. And your relationships with your work colleagues, especially because they're the people you probably see the most over time in your life as well. And you've got to understand there's a lot of people who gamble for fun, who gamble fine and gamble within the means and gamble wisely, etc. and stuff and all that lot. And it can be quite difficult when you're trying to stop and trying to struggle. And does it affect your work relationships? Maybe it does. It did a bit me. I had to pull away from a certain set of group from where I used to work because it was constantly lottery, constantly about horses and stuff and all that lot. I had to take myself out of them situations. And yeah, it did affect our friendships to a degree and stuff, but you have to do what's right for you, what's right by you. Each to their own, everyone's comfortable and stuff and all that lot. With regards like relationships with family and stuff and all that lot, for me, best thing is to, if they do know about you having problems with gambling, open up if you're having that urge, if you're having bad feelings about it. They may not understand, but it's better to talk to somebody instead of just bottling up that feeling and then maybe going down that road of having a gamble again. And it is quite a difficult thing. And you've got to like really open up. Yeah, we are dumping a lot of shit on other people when we do come out with our problems and stuff, etc. Hi Mark, hope you're doing well. First time on here, appreciate you on. So yeah, it's difficult to imagine for a person who's affected by somebody's gambling. As you saw a few weeks ago, I had my wife on, and it still affected her more, if you know what I mean. Hi Sean. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, I wouldn't want people to change behaviour at all. It's about us at the end of the day, really. it's us who have to look after ourselves and stuff and all that. Like, I won't expect anyone to change their own behaviour. It's us who have the problem with it, not them. So I totally get what you're saying. Hi, Sean. Yes, one of the main people I get on with work is VIP. But we don't talk as much because I avoid convos because it usually leads to gambling convos. As you say, Sean, I mean, I can link that to what Mark's just said there. I wouldn't want to change people's views on gambling or anything whatsoever. It's up to them to decide. I mean, I've had a bit of a Twitter conversation today about it where I think Tom Watson tweeted something about banning adverts and stuff for like fast food and things like that. Like, what's that going to solve? Nothing. And I'm of the ilk of don't tell people what to do. Let people decide what they want to do. And while I've talked about education stuff a lot, I think that's the best kind of preventative tool. Really, give people like the right choices, and if they want to have a, I see no problem with people who can actually have a bet for fun, or want a bit of bad food, bit of a naughty food, bit of a McDonald's or KFC or whatever. So what if you want to have a drink and stuff and all that lot? Hi Gemma, I'm sorry to see you still gambling. I always find when I'm on bookies I'll do my nuts but on live on K for it. It's that strange. What would you have you? I'm guessing you're identifying as a problem, but with probably being here, Mark, have you tried any forms of help whatsoever? But yeah, I totally link what Sean and Mark are saying there. It is quite true. We can't expect people to change because of us. We are in the minority. It's us who have to find our other alternatives. It's us who have to change our lifestyle. It's us who have to deal with the problem, what we've caused, really. Full stop. And as long as we keep opening up and talking about it, then it does get better. Yeah. Exactly, Mark. We can't blame another thing. Just allow us to blame another thing, not ourselves. Quite correct. I mean, my mates gamble. I've had my dad on here before. As you can see, he gambles. I know for a fact he's probably had a good whack at Cheltenham all week. And fair play to him. He can look after himself and stuff, and that's fine. It's me who's got the problem. It's me who had to walk away and stuff and all that lot. And as Mark says, his mates gamble, my mates gamble, and stuff and all that lot. And I'm fine with them doing it. They go to the casino and stuff and things like that. It's not right, Gemma. You probably do need to actually try and find some help or something if you're still gambling. I mean, you have been on this vlog quite a long time now. You need to find other forms of way of trying to help yourself. You really need to. But obviously, I know it sounds like I'm trying to tell you what to do, but it's down to yourself at the end of the day. With relationships, I mean, like I say, you saw my wife getting upset about it the other week and stuff, and she's quite an emotional person, but everyone acts differently. But the best thing is to talk to people. Just carry on opening up, being wide open with people. If people don't know how you're feeling, then you're going to bottle it up. And that shortcut is to having a gamble again, for me. And I remember when I was trying to stop off my own free will, January 2007, for those 3-4 months, I was really bad. I couldn't do it, if you know what I mean. And it really, really infuriates me, and it really does. Like I say, just you got to like open up and fire away at people. I infuriate myself really for those times when I didn't open up and I made myself even worse and worse. Yeah, Jemmy. Yeah, I think you're answering your own questions. Hi, Shabba. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Mark. I've got this. I'm full square behind you, Mark. With that. Exactly. You're quite correct, Mark. Quite correct. And this is why I probably do the vlog. This is why I do the vlogs. I'm trying to give people a bit of an understanding that you can get out of it. And I give people try and be so positive. I try to get people to be so positive. Try and like take elements of my story and try and get to read other people's stories as well, and make people feel right and make people make conscious decisions, and you can get out of it instead of like blaming everybody else but yourself. You have to accept your responsibilities and take full responsibility for your actions. Yeah, industry can do more, and I think they'd be the first to admit that. But if you're not going to accept taking the blame, taking your responsibility for yourself, then you're never ever going to recover. Never. Quite right, Emily. Yeah. Yeah, he is definitely speaking up as well, and obviously through the talks I've had with him as well, Emily. I mean, he's nearly 6 months clean, and he's done fantastic, and he's coming quite inspirational to a lot of people around his age group as well, which is really good, really promising as well. Like I say, Gemma, you need to go and get yourself help. For me, try and find something where you can go and get out of this vicious cycle you have. You keep opening up, keep talking. You need to talk to people. There's loads of help out there. There's GAM Care. Get on the phone to Samaritans if you need to. There is organisations out there that you can help and listen and talk to you. If it's just like a friendly chat to somebody else, maybe not your mates, maybe like who you're with or anything like that. Hi, Be Chilled. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, Cheltenham, obviously, in the last week, I know I've had a few people message me around this and all that lot, struggling with it and stuff. I know people who are watching the races and stuff and all that lot, and I'm fine with that. First couple of years, I was watching the racing. I was quite happily watching the racing, and I would probably watching the odd race this week if I wasn't at work. I probably watch the Grand National as well. That's kind of me, because I used to love horse racing, but I could watch it as a spectator sport, a bit like football. But everyone's each to their own. I'm not saying, yeah, go and do it, it's fine and all that lot, or whatnot. It's up to you at the end of the day. I can't control your recovery. It is down to yourselves. End of the day, everyone who messages me saying thanks and stuff and all that lot, it is humbling for you to say that, but remember, it's down to you, and it's you who is stopping your gambling, not anybody else. No one makes us stop. No one makes us gamble. There's only one person who can make us stop, and that's ourselves. Gemma, I know it's hard, but you got to look after you. You really have to look after you. Has anyone got any questions really they want to talk about or anything like that, etc.? Do you want to open up at all? A bit about anyone's story or stuff and all that lot? About 13-14 minutes in, it's a bit quieter tonight. But as I say, keep opening up. Take responsibility. Like I say, I've got in some frustrating conversations over the last couple of years. I've rolled back from it now and stuff because it didn't do me any good either. If you're forever fighting and wanting to blame everybody else, you're not going to get better. Life's just going to stay the same, that vicious cycle. You're going to keep giving your money back to the people you don't want to give back, and give it back, and you're chasing everything for nothing. Keep chasing them wins, and I want more, I want more, I want more. By stopping gambling, I've got everything I ever chased, and life can get so much better. I'm not saying it's easy. It might sound like I'm saying it's easy. It might sound like I'm being arrogant and cocky. Really, I'm not. I have been where everybody else has been, if you know what I mean. Did you get any help with being abused, Gemma, and stuff? It's not really my, obviously, line of where I can talk, really. I don't know if you've had help, if you know, if etc. etc. But I know, for me, my own recovery is, the root cause stops with me. I had to put them blocks in place. I had to stop myself from gambling. I had to stop ruining my life and that of my 3-month-old son at the time. What's good about it now is, what I found good this week as well as a nice surprise on Friday, is my son's actual school, Noel Baker Academy in Derby, are actually going to be talking about gambling addiction and trying to spot the signs, etc. So it might be a nice lesson or two in there. talking about it at year 7 level, at 11, 12 years old, which is very encouraging. And I firmly believe the education in state schools is a must for it. I'm a great advocate of it, and it gives people better informed decisions and tools to talk about it, and it breaks that. Do you think the Twitter community actually helps? It's how you want it to help you, really. There's a lot of people who have vested interest in campaigns, if you know what I mean, and it's nothing to do with me. All I say is, for me, when I see people have a slip or stuff or privately message me, I ask them, do you get help? Have you got a blocks in place? What made you gamble? I try and get to the root cause of it, so to speak. Ask the questions, not just give them the answers, so to speak, and it's tough and stuff. Some people, I can't control what people positives. What I try and say is, look, as well, if someone's, say, got to make your better best, keep going day at a time, so to speak. Well done, Mike. 39 days. Brilliant on that. 39 days, mate. Well done. Gamstop, brilliant. Well done, mate. That's really good. Really good. Like you say, Gamstop does work for a hell of a lot of people. I know a lot of people who have messaged me and talked to me about it, and I'm very happy to see that kind of that tool being used and worked. Obviously, you got Gamban as well and Gamblock as well. It's all about using them tools for yourself. That it is down to yourself, Mike. And has anyone got anything else to add or anything at all at the moment? Feel free to ask as many questions as you can. Like I say, Sean, it's a very interesting topic about the Twitter community. So as you say, it's helped me in many ways, and obviously I've got involved with stuff that is. Yeah, I've seen like fake profiles as well, Mark, and stuff and all that. And I think for me, some people on there are brilliant, and some people are not so, so to speak. And I think, well, when I see a lot of people who do like the anonymous profiles and like not and like the counting down the days and stuff and all that, all I say is it took me over 9 years to come out to the world on social media and stuff and all that. And obviously, I think social media has helped me, and it may help others along the line. What's good about it for me is, like you say, you can build up a good network of people. Obviously, there is some people who have vested interests who want to campaign on industry stuff and things and all that. I'd rather focus on the positives of recovery, getting through one day at a time, education about it all, and talking to the and yeah, as Mike says, you also hear from people who are not interested and just want to blame everybody else but themselves, who want to hear the easy answers and who want to fight and want to mock what you do. Because don't get me wrong, I've had my elements of trolling on here, and as people have seen, and I've had people message me and really attack me privately. I've not really shared it before, like on a whole level and stuff, but I've had people messaging my wife and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, what am I doing? Is it worth it and stuff? And people trying to put me off on here. I don't need no putting off, to be honest. If you know what I mean. As you say, Sean, yeah, Mark, get your social stuff that I managed especially. Correct, Mark, quite correct. Good point, Mark. There are also so many, they just don't want to look towards the positives. Exactly, Sean, as I say, and I'll get rubbed off as being negative, because I will talk to the industry and they want to learn from us as well. And yeah, I kind of get the stick sometimes, but it is what it is. It's the nature of being out there and blind. If it as you say, Sean, I mean, there's some people who are negative and will batter people. That's not my way of thinking. But what I see on the flip side, Sean, as well, is people who will blame everybody else but themselves. And I think some people do get a bit frustrated with seeing the same people who maybe lapse over and over again, and they continually moan about everybody else but themselves. And sometimes I think some people do need to be talking to quite straight and frank. But obviously, it's not really my style at times, but it is what it is, and everyone's got a different viewpoint and stuff. And I won't take as too much to heart on Twitter and stuff, really. I used to quite a lot, and I used to get well wound up in conversations and debates, etc. People calling my own recovery bullshit, that I'm deluded, that I'm brainwashed, etc. and stuff and all like that. All I can say is I've not had a bet since the 14th of April 2007, and these people are telling me I'm doing it all wrong when they're still gambling. I can't, I can't fathom it, but it is what it is, and I won't let people destroy me, so if you know what I mean. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mike. And this is why I try and break the stigma and try and do the vlogs, the gambling addiction and stuff and all like that. Because it is difficult stigma to break about it, if you know what I mean. As I say, I mean, you know me, I'll find some pros and cons on it as well. I mean, for me, it's helped me connect with a lot of good individuals on there, and obviously people who I strongly disagree with as well. But we have that block button, we have that mute button in place. Exactly, Mike. Yeah, and yeah, take good. As you see, what Mark said, Gemma. Uh, you can think positively. You can get yourself out of this rut. You can get yourself out of this vicious cycle. Definitely, 100%, and stuff and all like that. It's nice to see people talking to each other quite nicely on here. It means we not gobbing off as much on here. It's been quite a nice little vlog tonight. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I said, Tommy, I shouldn't be watching full stop. It's however you feel comfortable, Sean. I watched it a lot in my early stages of recovery. I'm not going to be an advocate for it, don't get me wrong, but it's whatever you're comfortable with. And we talk about time, money, and opportunity. As long as you've got one of those blocks in that triangle in stop, if you know what I mean, then you're not going to gamble, Sean. As long as you've got them blocks in place, you're not going to gamble, are you? You have to want to stop. That's the main thing that will help. Don't do it for anyone else. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, Mark. I can't put it better myself, really. You're quite correct. But yeah, I mean, for me, for the next couple of weeks, I am on night shifts. So I'm going to have a lot of time to myself and stuff. I think, thinking back to when I was gambling, this used to be a manna from heaven for me. Just getting up early and starting to gamble again throughout the day with no one in the house until I had to time myself to stop gambling and stuff and all that lot. But for me now, what job do? I work for Houston Logistics. I'm on the Toyota manufacturing site in Burniston in Derbyshire. I do a lot of logistics work. I do a lot of goods in, goods out and stuff. So it's getting busier due to Brexit and things and all that lot. So I'm very good around warehousing work and logistical work. In a minute, I don't do any of this full time. If you kind of alluding to the fact with this gambling stuff. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, I mean, I probably would end up watching one or two of the races as well. Like you say, Sean, it's up to you how do you do it, if you know what I mean. As Mark says, he does full-time work around it. Owen's a very advocate as well around gambling addiction as well. He does quite a lot of work on it. He's mentioned on here briefly as well. Mark will probably explain, if he wanted to, a bit more about what his role entails and stuff. It's a lot around education and delivering personal story and preventative education around it. I think in in the sports fields and stuff and all that and schooling, etc. So he does do a good job. It's really good, really. Like I say, for the next couple of weeks, I'm on nights. I'm coming back to doing live vlogging more often again now. I'm going to do it every 2 weeks now. Every week was a bit of a challenge for me, really, and stuff. But yeah, I've got a good week of running ahead, getting myself fit and ready for this marathon in June. I will be posting links up on Twitter, Facebook, etc. on the Just Giving page. So if anyone's got kind enough to sponsor me, that'll be great. Anyone's got any silly suggestions for me to do it in fancy dress as well, that'll be fantastic as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to doing a bit of work with IGAM in April. Looking forward to going up in May as well to see this problem gambling clinic in Leeds. It'd be nice to go for that. You do what you think's good for you, Gemma. If you think you're good at stuff like that and doing what you love doing, go for it. I encourage it. I love running. I enjoy going out and getting fit and stuff and all that. So it's going to take up the next 10 weeks or so training for this half marathon, and I'm buzzing for it. Really, I'm buzzing for it. I'm going to try and get a good PB as well in it as well. My fastest run's 1:44 for a half marathon, so I want to try and break 100 minutes if I can. That'll be an amazing achievement as well. So a bit about yesterday. I had a nice day with my wife. We've been 17 years together yesterday. So the kids were out for the day with the in-laws, in-law stuff and all that lot. So it was nice. No chance, Shabba, no chance. Do it in a forest, I want to make even more laughs. But yeah, that's thing. Did you run back, cheeky sod, Mark? But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I want to break 100 minutes if I can. Putting blocks in places to put it. I'm due to start placement and listening to it, so I'm planning self. That's very good, Sean, mate. It sounds like you've got your head screwed on. You're interested in your own recovery. Look after you. That's the most important thing. You're thinking very wise and very ahead. Thank you, Owen. Yeah, so I had 17 years yesterday, so I went for a nice meal. The day to ourselves. Thanks, Owen, and stuff and all that. Yeah, so it was a very, very chilled and relaxed day. Been down football this morning, watched my younger son play 1-4-1, so all good dues for that. All these things I never would have done whilst gambling. So it's been great. I'm going to run for about another minute or so. It's starting to die down a bit now. But thank you for everyone who's come on tonight, ask questions, talk to each other and stuff and all that lot. Feel free to message me privately on BaronMad79 at Twitter or on my messenger on Facebook. Feel free. But obviously I get a few people who are trying to do it through my Instagram. I'm not going to be talking through Instagram, I'm afraid. So Twitter's the best place you can find me, at BaronMad79. Feel free to privately message me. Whatever you say to me is in the strictest confidence. I don't let a broadcast it to anybody else at all. Be live in the next 2 weeks with another vlog. I'll be great to hear from you all. So thanks for joining in today. My name's Andy and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet, 14th of April.